If you guys are struggling with the driver, then you're in the right place. This is part 2 of a 3-part driver rebuild. I would highly recommend checking out the first part if you haven't already, because in that part, we're talking about the different changes that I need to be making to get a more efficient driver swing. And in this part, we are working through those changes, and I'm also getting feedback along the way. In this video, you're going to see me struggle, but I wanted to showcase that for you because I want to show that these things do take time. Sometimes there is not a quick, easy fix when you're trying to do a whole rebuild, but I promise it's all going to be worth it because in part 3, I hit my driver the best to date, and all this hard work, all these lessons, the practices definitely paid off, and I'm happy to see where my driver has become. And guys, if you're new here, my name is Chonger. I'm an average golfer with the goal of trying to get to scratch. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. Follow along on this journey with me as I document my weekly lessons, talk about different gear and gadgets that help me improve, and much more. So yeah, I hope to see you guys along with me on this journey. But with that being said, let's dive into this lesson.
Okay, so let's circle back to something that makes a little bit more sense. Let's go back to like, can you hit fairways?
Yeah.
So we just totally did nothing but engineering for the last like hour and a bit, which is fine because we have to figure this stuff out. Now let's just play golf.
Okay.
So let's build a fairway that you have to land the ball between. I think if we go TrackMan and the pole on the right that's in the distance there out towards like the opening of the range, right? So like there's a pole, there's a far pole over there on the right where there's a golf ball landing, and then TrackMan pole. If we landed anywhere between there, that's a fairway to me.
Okay.
Maybe it's too big, but that's okay. Can you hit 5 golf balls in a row that land in that space? That's golf.
Yeah.
Is you have one chance at it, like you said on the golf course, like you don't know what's coming.
Yeah.
Well, we want to like start to play into like, hey, do I actually have a pattern, or am I just a two-way miss guy all the time? So I want you to try to hit the first ball in this empty space out there, then the second, then the third, then the fourth, and then the fifth one's going to have a lot of pressure on it if we get there. Okay, you're just trying to hit fairways. However that makes sense to you. If it's easier to hit it with a shape, you can hit it with a shape, but you want to really sort of like find the center of this fairway out there. Okay, get on the ground. Get on the ground. Get on the ground. Okay, landed in, bounced out. Take it for what you will. I'd say no.
Yeah.
Based on where it ended up. We have to kind of keep it in there, like world long drive rules. Like you can land outside the grid and come back in, that counts. But if you land in and go out, too bad. Close though, and very good numbers, honestly. None of them are gonna make sense for the direction we're going, but the attack angle, the launch, pretty good stuff there. Okay, so as crappy as this is one.
Yeah.
You hit the center of the fairway. It is not like, you're not posting this as like the greatest drive ever hit, but you've also hit the fairway. That's all that mattered on this challenge here. So you're one for one, you're on to number 2. 5 in a row gives you like, probably some good confidence that you could do this on a regular basis. So shot number 2, try not to change too much of what you're doing, but also sort of play into like a particular shape.
Oh no.
Fairway missed, we're back to 0. Part of the miss hit didn't help you, that you didn't quite strike in the center, but most of that was face angle. So if you are trying to hit a fade, you're just overdoing it on that one. That ball started in the middle and then went right outside. So that'd be like you aiming down the middle or hitting it down the middle of the fairway and then bleeding it into the right rough. If you're gonna hit a fade, it has to start pretty tight to the TrackMan pole.
If I am wanting to try to hit a fade, because that's, I think, that's more my fairway finder. Because in that situation, though, if I sometimes do try to position a bit more left, I also sometimes think that leads to a pull. Like I end up sometimes actually just like
double crossing.
And
I'd say your pull comes from mishits.
Mishits? Okay.
More than it's like, oh, I flipped the face.
Okay.
I'd say your pull, knowing where you kind of hit the golf ball sometimes, if you hit it in the toe
Yeah.
and you're aiming left, it's like it's gonna die left on you.
Okay.
I think if we put the tee a little lower and we have spin attached to it, you'll hit less of those pulls, like a lot less. You're gonna spin it and cut it more from a lower tee, for sure. It's fine. It's very fine. It's a low missile, but it's 1 for 1. Good, a little squat at the start, level everything out so the mirror guy looks pretty neutral. Nice, center of the face. 2 for 2, right off the bottom of the club for sure. But in the fairway. That's the only game here is like, man, I missed that like crazy, but I get to hit an iron from the fairway. Maybe not the iron I was hoping for, but 2 more or 3 more. Okay, interact with that tee, not just picking the ball off the top of this thing. Get some tee on this. That was good. Stay right there. Yeah, that was good. That was nicely hit. 3. 3 for 3. Now you're better than Jordan Spieth at driving the golf ball. That's just how good that is. He doesn't hit a lot of fairways. And we're back to 0.
I felt myself just.
Yeah, check out where you hit on the face. Right, low toe, spin is gone. Face wasn't even really that close. You look at the numbers, and this is where it's always like, well, wait a minute. Kind of like, not bad. Like they're all pretty normal. No spin, no wings.
Yeah.
No wings. Dive.
Yeah, because that's similar trajectory of my miss, I think. So okay, so then that actually.
If you hit it in the heel a lot,
Yeah.
you'd never hit that shot. You'd hit less of that shot. You'd have spin attached to it way more from the heel. If you kind of lived in that space, then you just wouldn't hit that tumbling sort of toe hook. Good.
I know what I did on the one I pulled.
Yeah?
That, like, I didn't have, because if I feel like I need to flip my hands, then I can't, it's harder for me to go like that.
Yeah. Let me borrow this thing just for a second. At no point today, off any of the drives that you've hit, now most of them have been low on the face, but at no point today did you come up with too much spin. I've just been barking about low spin, low spin, low spin. Mm-hmm. So let's just give you a little bit more spin and see how you do with that. Just a little bit more spin. Let's just see if this changes everything, or nothing, or only a little bit, but should have an impact on direction and accuracy. All things constant, that should be the case. Yeah, same, really low on the face contact, but 2,500 RPM of spin.
Am I going back a little bit? It feels like I'm kind of, like I'm swinging and I'm kind of coming off of the ball.
Like falling back? No, it's just because you're back there. So when you swing through, you do this to hit the ball.
Yeah.
This,
Yeah.
and that's pushing, when I push my hands this way, maybe it feels like you're pushing yourself backwards. If I did this and released it, it would help me kind of follow through.
Okay.
Yeah, right? Rather than like pushing myself away from this thing. Okay, hang in for 1 sec. You have more spin in the head, so I'm gonna give you a little bit more leeway here. But I still want you to interact with the tee. I still want you to try to hit this higher on the face. Well, that's pretty great. Okay, even that is like super low on the face, but we've got that spin. I did one thing, And I think it's working pretty good for where you're like making the mistake. I added a little bit of loft to your driver here. It's almost 11 degrees now. Doesn't really matter at all. It just matters that it's coming out with a little bit more spin to hold it on its line. You can move that ball back in your stance a little bit. Keep going. Keep going. Move your feet that way more. Yeah, great. There you go. There's your new low point right there on the ball. So your instinct is to try to like lift it out of there. You don't need to. Just hit it. Just hit it off the middle of the face from that position. You don't need to try to like escape that feeling. You can feel like you just hit down on it. Right. Yeah, throw some spin on this thing. Hit 1 degree down on the golf ball. Or 4 degrees up. 3
That
degrees.
one I felt like I actually...
Yeah. But that one you just swung more to the right. Like that one you just swung way further to the right. You didn't swing down on it nearly as what we're kind of hoping for, like kind of a zeroed out path.
Because right is more up.
Right is more up.
Okay.
Yeah. So by that deduction, maybe go left a little bit, right? Maybe kind of drop that down on the golf ball. Let's get that off the center and spin this thing. Two. Path good.
That one I felt like I still lifted up because I feel like when this ball is kind of so far back, it almost feels like I won't get there, or like I'm gonna like, I need to leave more space or more time for me to actually get to get
What
the
if you
club
just
on the
hit
ball.
down on the ball? Can I borrow this for a second? I'll try not to give you a roof mark here. But what if I just like put the ball back in my stance and kind of like hit down at it a little bit? I think I have a chance of hitting the center of the face a little bit easier, and I actually create spin out of there. So even on like you're 2 degrees up as you climb through it, like there's 3,000 RPM of spin at 74 miles an hour. So if I actually do this, and hit down on this a bit more, I can kind of create a little bit of lift and spin out of this thing. That's maybe too much. 7 is too much with your driver. So let's swing less around this way, and let's swing vertical. Right. Yeah, let's take the club head, way more vertical.
And I'm still thinking about releasing the hand still? Or?
But do it this way and this way, not this way and this way. Right, underneath or in front of you. So you really want to take that club head in your backswing, you want to take the club head quite a bit higher. Right, not the hands, just the club head. Steepen, yeah. Right. Okay. 2 degrees down. Kind of success. Not for the contact, but for the act of hitting down on the golf ball. Okay, let's get back to hitting some like normal-ish looking drives. I want to move this thing up the equator of the face. So your job on the next 4 or 5 shots is not to hit it as low as you've been hitting it on the face. Trying to get that golf ball to really hit high on the face from kind of a lower tee setup. This means that you're going to have to interact with the ground a little bit. We're going to want to see that tee go flying. If that tee just bends or stays in the same spot, then we're not interacting with the golf ball enough. We're interacting with just the top of it. So let's make the tee disappear. Move something. Yeah, good. Yeah, land this on the ground. Okay, tee is like still in the same spot. So we're just like bottom face.
Yeah.
There we go. Tee moved a little bit. A little higher on the face. So that is 2 centimeters low on the face. Let's raise the tee a little bit. Let's raise the tee 1 centimeter and then you do the rest. So I want to see a green ring, I think. Can you see it from there? Yeah, there. Perfect. Perfect. Good. So now you have no reason not to hit it in the middle. You have access. You're not swinging up at this thing at all. You're trying to get that center to really get, yeah, good. Better. Okay. Okay. Pretty good. Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay.
Still up though.
Yeah, still 50 feet in the air. What do we get your apex to with kind of your irons? Around 80 feet? Is that about right? 75, 80 feet? I think so.
Yeah.
So it's kind of what we want out of your driver. We want that as like a minimum requirement. It should get to that apex. I don't really want to make your driver 12 degrees, and we're not going to fit you into a higher spinning shaft to sort of get there. This has a lot to do with what you can do with the club to kind of get it to launch this window higher.
Yep.
So if we pause for a second, I'm just going to use something that helps us work on the launch. So it's not for your swing, it's to get the ball airborne. So I want you to hit this golf ball over top of that noodle at the start. I think the way that you're currently hitting it, I think we're hitting that ball into that thing almost every time. So I want you to, on purpose, try to get this golf ball to start quite a bit higher. Sure, however you do it. But I think we're probably on the first one, maybe gonna hit that thing.
Actually take a swing?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Right, so we gotta give some face to that thing to get that thing to go above that noodle. Right, so again, you tried to solve that equation with a tack angle.
Yeah.
Right? But it doesn't change the face angle. It keeps the face low, and then you just run into the ground. So this is gonna be your big homework here, is trying to find a way that you can give yourself a little bit more loft at the moment of impact. You might wanna start in that position without your hand so far ahead, but you also wanna start to get that feeling like the club head can kick in there to give you that maximum loft. Yeah, right? So try not to hoist it up and swing way out to the right to do that. I would try to swing a little bit more left and open the face. So we can kind of start a little bit higher. Yeah, let's see it right over top of that thing. I mean, you made it over top last time, but you did it by a ground hopper, so. Okay, on the equator, but swinging out to the right and on the toe a little bit.
Am I giving him more loft or no?
Yeah.
It doesn't even register.
Yeah, yes, you are on this one, because the attack angle wasn't nearly as severe. It just, when I put something in the way, sometimes it blocks some of that other data that's in there. So I don't want you to hit it high to the right.
Okay.
I want you to hit it high to the left. So I want you to try to hit it way up over there somewhere, like way up in the air to the left.
Okay.
Okay?
I felt like I went
Yeah, that's okay.
back.
No, that's fine. That's totally fine. That was good. Can I borrow this? So I want this to go like high and left over there. So it can't be a lot of attack angle on that one. There isn't. So we're going here. Opening this up to give that loft to the golf ball to send it up over there. Too many of the hits that you have are that to try to get this thing up in the air. We just want to release this thing up into the left a little bit more. Let's try to end with a couple of good ones, like starting a little bit more on your line or left. I'm
Off the deck or?
No. No, that's not. It's a fun experiment, but no, not necessary. Okay.
So when I'm thinking about releasing the club, right? I guess I'm thinking just about my hand path and maybe just a feel for that.
Sure.
Is it, because you said before to kind of almost let the club overtake.
That's right.
So if I'm not swinging right, but if it's but it's not also coming around me, is it?
Yes.
So how does it actually? What should the?
Sorry, do that again. Say that again.
So if I'm not trying to like swing up and to the right, but also I don't want to come around me too, right? So I guess what's the feeling of how my hand should actually move so that way I can.
Let's ISO one hand.
Yeah.
So if I use my right hand in this mechanism, my right hand is on the right side of the grip and the face is square. If I wanted to add loft to this thing, I would do that, right? So I would get my wrist into extension, right? Flexion is this way. That's how you currently hit the golf ball, is you keep that wrist in flexion and then the club goes that way. So you do that to try to hoist it, but we have less loft on the club than I could out of my hands. So really what I'm doing is I'm extending that trail wrist to add loft to this thing. So I just need to get that feeling. It's not this way. That's not supinate, pronate. It's not roll the face at all. It's not hinge up or down with this face. It really is from here. If I wanted to do this and just add more loft to the driver on the same line, I would just do that, right? So I would alleviate some wrist angle here. That matches this cupping over there. So this is extension, this is flexion. My wrist extending like this is flexion. My wrist cupping like this is extension. So I'm extending this lead wrist and flexing the trail wrist to add loft to this thing. But if I just ISO the trail hand, this would be a lot more loft at the moment of impact, maximum flexion. This would be a lot less loft at the moment of impact, maximum extension. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So we're kind of, as we come through, we're kind of alleviating that angle. And if we go back and look at a bunch of your videos, you would see that you're probably still there late in the swing and then starting to give it away after the hit.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then so my hand can still just, as long as I release it more, it's fine. Just staying in more of a.
I told you, maybe I did or maybe I didn't, but I might have told you about my first golf lesson where I was throwing clubs.
Throwing, yeah.
So the first throw that I made, I'm left-handed, so I grabbed a club and I went like this and I threw it this way, and the guy laughed at me and he's like, you got to change that up a little bit. And I'm like, he's like, hold it like a golf club. If you want to use one hand, you can, but use two. Hold it like a golf club. What I want you to do is like throw it and let the club head go tumbling head first towards my target out there. If I'm letting it go correctly, then this club will go there. If I do this, that club is going over there 100%. If I do this too soon, that club's going over there. I need to do this so that it releases. The feeling is that the club head releases up towards my line at the end of this thing and climbs up towards it. It can't go out there. I don't want to throw it that way. I don't want to throw it this way. I want to feel like when I let this thing go that I could really let it helicopter right on line to my target. So this is me really putting all that speed into the release of where I would let this thing go kind of in my follow through. Yeah. To me, this is a lot of how a driver swing really gets good, is trusting the fact that we can just let it go, really let it go. I'm not steering this thing. I'm not holding on to it. I'm not trying to punch hit it. I'm trying to have some freedom to kind of let this thing cut loose.
Okay.
I don't need this. Let's just do that because that's a good little feeling for you. So same thing. Let's try to hit a couple over TrackMan. Let's end with a couple of really nice drives.
Yep.
See if we can get the apex up. See if we can get the height up a little bit. The tee is a little bit more comfortable for you. It's not 4 inches off the ground, but it's definitely up there enough that you could hit the center. But we want to add a little bit of release that wrist into the golf ball. Okay, I just want you to see it because we just talked about this. So then this is for you to kind of clean up.
Yep.
So then here we go. So here's this guy. There's all his wrist hinge at the top. So we got about 90 degrees, maybe a little bit more, 110, 120. There's the lag. Now this thing needs to be released. Let it go. Let it go.
Okay, yeah.
Let it go. Let it go. We still got like 40 degrees on there, right? Still, and I'm gonna keep going through the golf ball. Now it's at 0, just now. We want that moment to be down there, if we can. So you've just taken that butt end of the grip and you can see where it's driving. Pull, 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 pull. Now it turns back towards you. And even then it's like super late in the sequence of like, okay, now it's releasing.
Yeah.
But it's way too late. All right, you check out that right wrist. And then now it releases, but it turns over instead of under.
Good for irons, but bad for driver.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Right. Can you play a driver like this? Obviously, but what's the outcome is you're going to hit it solid and low most often. Not the worst thing in the world by any means, but there's an optimal, there's optimal numbers for a driver for a reason. Is some of it is like, if we can get this thing spinning, you're going to have a better chance of it. And that's the feeling right there, is just that brace release. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so I really want you to take that right hand and go like this. Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right, I really chuck it underneath the golf ball. A little bit more level, sorry. Get yourself started a little bit more level, a little close. Yeah, there you go. Good, and then just chuck it underneath. Good. Yeah, you can stop, send the club. I don't know where that went. Go left. So that's more rolling, Graham. That's more roll.
Yeah.
You want to go hinge, release. So that's really rolled to the inside. Yeah. Okay. Take your setup. Take your setup to the golf ball for a sec. So this is you rolling it to the inside.
Yep.
We want to go this way. So I want to go here. So this hand really kind of stays on the back of it to release that way.
Okay.
So my right hand, if I put it like flat on the back of the grip, so I take that right hand, just put it like that, right here on the grip.
Okay.
Yeah, there. Take your setup like this. So fingers all flat in there. What you want to feel like is that right hand is constantly pushing to throw it away from, now it can disconnect from that hand, or I can really push that off of your grip. Right.
But I want to feel like I push
Yeah,
it here.
right. So you're throwing it off of that grip. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, nice. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Good. Mm-hmm. Okay, I like that you got ground. We got it above the equator of the golf ball. My goodness. At 2-degree attack angle from a low tee. Okay, so that's it. That's a terrible drive. Like, you can't play golf like that. Not yet. But obviously this is something that's pretty stubborn in the way that you're delivering the club. It works wonders for your ball striking and your iron play. That's great. It's the reason why that 2-iron becomes really kind of daunting is because if you're delivering it like that with the lower lofted clubs in your bag, they just aren't getting the height to like finish their distance. So some of this that you're maybe gonna have to work with to try to get the driver to do it can kind of influence and help you as you get like a 2-iron or a 5-iron or a 7-wood or whatever, so you can get the apex of those things up too. There's a breaking point or a tipping point in your bag, like a 7-iron or 8-iron, where you're like, I'll just hammer down on these things and everything's great. And then you get to like 6 or 5 or whatever, and it's like, man, I need this to go up a little bit. I've got to kind of like, I can't keep that same angle that I hold for my pitching wedge all the way through my bag. There has to be some give because the ball's more forward, and I also want that height as an objective. I will say this, if we take nothing else and we just lower your tee a little bit, and let you play kind of like a fade, but get comfortable at just sort of leveling it off, it certainly had a nice impact on the fact that your mishits were just more manageable. We didn't get any like high face, tumbling, weird hooks. A couple of them when I was trying to get you to like release the club face that would turn over, that's to be expected. But that's you doing that versus that. And that's where that like feeling of, okay, I'm I'm gonna throw this thing through to get through rather than pulling it through to get through. Different.
If I'm trying to practice this on
Yeah.
my own, because obviously I don't have TrackMan, I don't have
Sure.
the data.
Yeah.
And for instance, how can I know for sure of, even though the ball can go in the air because it could go up because my attack angle went up,
Yeah.
versus
Yeah.
my attack angle was down or like lower, but it was because of my face.
Yeah. So there's a good little drill that you can kind of do here for you in particular, where I'd put like 2 Ds. I'd put one there and I'd put one like here somewhere if I can get it in. Let's go there and there. So I'd put 2 Ts like this. Maybe 3 even is kind of nice. I'm trying to level this thing off. Okay, so I would do this. So your job here is to like try to hit that first, the ball clean without really like demolishing all these tees coming through, but you also want to like bend over that last tee. So I've got it kind of on a scale here, so it goes smaller, medium, highest. So I kind of want to like knock over the last 2. So I'm staying level enough to get past this first one to the golf ball, but then I'm really kind of knocking over the first 2. This continues you kind of going down and through. If you're holding your loft off, you're already climbing off that and this thing never gets moved over there. The other thing that's huge is having feedback on where you're hitting it on the face.
Yep.
So like foot spray or something that you can use on the range to just sort of pick that up. I like that we put golf balls on the ground and try to hit some off the ground. I like that we used a really low tee. You can't cheat it. You're gonna get good feedback on like a low tee to know that you didn't hit 9 degrees up at the golf ball because you had access to it. So some of the stuff that you're maybe worried about are like, if I do hit it high, how do I know that I didn't just cheat and like lift it with like all my attack angle? I'd say if you keep the ball low, teed low, and then you can hit it high, probably a good indication that there's nothing like funny about it, right?
Okay.
You're starting the ball on line and releasing it a little bit more. You've got loft in the driver. You've got a shaft that sort of kicks for you. You just have to really kind of let it go.
Okay.
So this like towel that I have behind me is kind of the same sort of thing of where we release it, feeling like I don't keep dragging the knot behind me to hit the golf ball. Eventually I want that knot to wrap around me.
Yep.
So my driver feel is like my hands stay in the middle and I'm just slapping this knot back and forth. If I can do this in a wind up, then that knot should get to my back before I finish moving. So that's obviously a good one to just to sort of see how I want to release this rather than pulling back into it.
Yep.
If you can kind of get that for like an at-home drill, I think that works great. But some of it is you just kind of the engineering here, figuring out how you're going to release that club a little bit sooner, add a little bit of loft at impact. And when we step it down and you're sort of like moving your hands around into it, you can see that it really is wrist angles that are controlling the loft on that face for you. Yeah. Yeah, good. Good.
So I was gonna try and
Do it.
So I want to avoid this tee, but clip the other 2.
Yeah. All right, so it's almost forcing you to kind of hit down through, but still stay in it so that you can kind of take out that second one. Yeah, I think you did pretty good. Just probably like there on the head, right? Like the middle tee didn't really move very much. The last one ended up moving a little bit. Your attack angle was down, but you just sort of still hit that thing a little low in the face.
Yep.
I think it's a matter of time before you can kind of move that dot around a little bit. I do like the idea that we took all your like the freedom away a little, so you're not just swinging 9 up at it. By the time you're done, 80 driver swings, you've settled at 2.5 degree attack angle positive. That's great. But if we look at like, okay, what's going on? Do we need to get you a smaller face driver? I don't think so. I think what we need to do is just keep working to move that. It's migrated a little bit. It's only 11 millimeters low of center.
Yep.
So it's migrating a little bit, but that hot zone is really hot down there.
Yep.
We want to move it up a little. We're not far away.
Yep.
Like not at all. And you look at the rest of the numbers there too. It's like swing direction, path, club face, face to path. Nice. Your launch angle, 9 degrees. It's 2 degrees low of where we want it. Like you're not that far off.
Yep.
Really not that far off. It might feel like it in terms of exploring and searching for like, how the hell do I let my hands go?
Yep.
But that's just a learning pattern that can kind of help you get there.
Thanks for making it to the end of this video. I hope you guys learned something. I'm not going to lie, on the drive home after this lesson, I was feeling a little discouraged because I spent the last 2 hours working on the driver, and at the time I didn't really see much progress. But after I took some time to digest and really process these changes, when I went to the range, things were starting to click. But it's definitely a process, and so I just wanted to showcase this video so that way, if you guys are also working through something and you feel a little discouraged, don't be, because it's totally normal for working on things that you might not get it right away. But if you do put in that work, then I promise that good things will come. And so you'll see in part 3. And so yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Peace.